Hey everybody, welcome. It's Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. I don't even know. But it's sunny and it's beautiful. And I just got back from riding Secret. Well, I didn't just get back because I'm not even back. I'm in the middle of the bush. But I was just riding Secret. We had a really good ride. I did realize she really does need a better saddle. Her saddle is really good. It just doesn't fit her properly. So tomorrow I'm going to go pick up a new saddle for Secret. And I'm really hoping that during this live stream that my dogs don't knock over the camera. So today I am not talking to any trees. I'm actually talking to my phone set up on a chair. And I didn't get to go live in my nice grove of pines, which is, Jeffrey, don't do that! which is right behind us. But it was too dark in there and you wouldn't have been able to see me. So I did various tests to make sure that the sound was working and that everything was working. So today what I'm going to do is, and I'm not seeing anybody watching, so I hope I'm not posting this in my own group, because I have my own group that I just have me and one friend in it, so I can test all my crazy live videos. And I hope I didn't accidentally post this in the wrong group. That would really suck. But so today I want to share my stretching routine. I think stretching is very, very important. I hear from people, you know, I'm always promoting everybody to go out and go for a walk. And they go for a walk and they come home and they have sore muscles the next day because they're not stretching. Now, it doesn't matter what type of exercise you're doing, you need to be stretching after. You don't want to be stretching before. You can do some dynamic stretches, which is like bouncing and moving and getting your energy up, but you don't want to be holding a stretch before you exercise or before you go for a walk. You want to wait and do it after your walk or in the middle of the walk if you feel that you're having some tightness, or in the middle of exercising if you feel you're getting some muscle tightness. That is when you're going to be doing stretching. If you stretch when your muscles are cool, you're more apt to pull something and get an injury. So I was a massage therapist. I studied the body and the muscles for over 3 years, and I did work for over 5 years. So this is something that I saw quite a lot. And you're going to see throughout this video, my dogs are going to be helping me. If you have a dog, you can use your dog as a yoga block. I don't really need them as yoga blocks, but they really think that I need them as yoga blocks because they really just want treats. And this boy is not even supposed to getting treats. And you guys probably haven't even met my male dog. This is Raceland. He is a 8-year-old border collie. He's a smooth red boy, and he doesn't normally come on the camera very much, so you probably haven't seen him. But you have seen Tazzy. Everybody's met Tazzy. She's gonna drive me nuts like she always does during my stretching routines, because she wants so many treats. All right, it's getting warm, so I'm going to get right into it and do the stretches that I do. So we're going to be going, starting with hamstrings. We're going to do quads. Hopefully they don't knock over the camera. We're going to do quads. We're going to do hip adductors. We are going to get in your glutes and your piriformis. We're going to do hip flexors. We're going to do your gastrocnemius, which is your calves. We're going to do the front of your legs, which is the peroneals. And I'm probably missing something, but those are the ones I do. I don't stretch very much of my upper body, so that could be for another video. This is just mainly focused if you're going for a walk or if you're doing any type of leg work. You need to stretch every single muscle group. Now, I'm not going to hold the stretches for as long as what I normally would, otherwise we'd be here for 10-15 minutes, but you want to start slow with your stretches. If you're not flexible, hold your stretches for about 15 seconds if you can, and you're going to slowly work up to 30 seconds and then to a minute to hold each one of the stretches that we're going to do. Now, if you go into a stretch and there's pain, that's a good indication that the stretch is a little too advanced for you. I'm going to show more simple versions. I'm going to try to stay in the camera. It's a little hard to see the screen when it's sunny. But if there's intense pain, then stop. You don't want to push through the pain. There is going to be that stretching feeling where you feel the muscle starts to stretch, and it's really, really uncomfortable. It can be uncomfortable, but it shouldn't be like a sharp shooting pain. And throughout this, I'm probably going to have to stop many times and make sure that my Jack Russell hasn't taken off, because she is a Jack Russell and she has that squirrel mentality, the epitome of ADHD in Dogland, where she gets very distracted. So Tazzy, come here. Tazzy! Just have to make sure she is around. And then you might even see my black and white border collie, who doesn't normally come near the camera. She doesn't really, she's always off in the distance. She's always trying to herd everything, and she has to be in control of everything, so she's always farther away. I don't recommend biting liver, but God, that's a hard piece. Ugh, it tastes so bad. But Raceland wants a treat. Okay, buddy, let Mama get up. Okay, and this time I'm gonna pull up my pants. Oh, and hopefully it's a school day, so maybe the kids are gonna be in school and nobody's gonna see me. This time I'm just talking to myself in the woods, so it doesn't look as bad as talking to a tree. All right, so I hope you guys can all hear me. Now, my main pains that I have, and I've always had, are in my hamstrings. So I normally start off with a hamstring stretch, and this is a yoga pose. This is actually, we're gonna go into 2 different poses. We're just gonna start in a basic hamstring stretch, and you'll see people, they sit down and touch their toes. I find this engages the hamstring a lot more. So you're just going to have one leg back. You can turn it in, turn it out, whichever. And you're gonna spread your legs as wide as you can. I can't go too wide, otherwise I'm gonna be outside of the camera. I'm trying to see, I think both legs are in. So you're just going to turn your hips so that they're both facing your leg. They're gonna be in the same direction of your leg, and you're not gonna try to bend down this way. You're going to bring your stomach, and this angle needs to get smaller. If you're just reaching down, you're not gonna get a stretch. You need to bring the angle down, and you're just gonna reach towards your toes. Now, I would normally hold this one for a good 15, 30 seconds to a minute. Now, to turn into triangle pose, all we have to do is drop the arm down. If you need a yoga block, you can use Shiver. Shiver, come. Come here, Shiver. Use one of your dogs. Unless you're like Diane and you have Great Danes, this won't work. You can get a yoga block if you can't touch the ground, and you're just going to open up your chest. But if you can touch the ground, you're gonna drop down, open up your chest. It's actually really nice because I can sort of see myself, and you're kind of making a triangle. So this is the top of the triangle up here, and then the bottom of your triangle is each one of your legs. And so you're just gonna go down as much as you can. If you can only stay up here, that's all right too. If you can only stay up here, that's all right too. Just go wherever you can. And if you have an actual yoga block or a brick or a container, you can put that right here for support. And where you're gonna feel the stretch, this is called triangle pose, it's gonna be more so on the inside of the quad, the inside of the hamstring, not the quad. So your hamstring has two bands, and we're gonna be going on the medial one, so the inside band. So you're just gonna hold that and really open up. I like getting a good twist in my torso, looking, it's nice when the sun is right there shining, and you're just gonna hold that. Now, you can come out of that if you need a break, or you can go back to center. I like staying down here. I'm used to this. I can stay here for quite a while, and I can spread my leg out a lot further, but I think it's just outside the camera. And this is what happens when you have Tazzy. You have to give her a treat because she's so cute. And that means she's gonna keep coming back. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to center. Now we're gonna do twisted triangle pose. And you're gonna see my back for this one. I hope you can see my hand. So you're gonna put this hand on the ground. This is one you might need a yoga block for, and you might not want to try it without the yoga block first, because we're going to be twisting the other way. It's called twisted triangle pose. You're going to put your hand on the ground, and you're going to twist your entire body and look over your other shoulder and try to actually see up. Now you want your arm to be straight. I can't see from this angle, but it should be at the same line as your hand on the ground and your legs. And I really do hope you guys can hear me. I'm trying to talk loud. And so you'd stay here and you'd hold this for a good, 15 seconds to a minute. Now a more advanced one, and I can't always do it, is to put your hand on the other side. Now this one's a little bit harder. It requires a little bit more balance. And I haven't been working too much on my balance lately, but it just further promotes the stretch requires you to use more balance. And then I always like to end off with a little bit more of a stretch in the middle, really getting down as deep as I can and stretching out my hamstring. Because your hamstring, when you have trigger points in your hamstring, you can get a lot of pain in your knees. And people think they're having problems with their knees, but in reality, they're just having issues. They're having trigger points in their legs or their glutes. And I see this a lot of when I was a massage therapist. People come in, they've been diagnosed with patellofemoral syndrome, but really it's just tight muscles in the legs that are referring to the knee. So when you come out of that, I like to bend the knee and then straighten up, and you can bring that other leg in. So we're gonna do the other side. I'm hoping you guys can all hear me. Let's look. Can you hear me, guys? Could you hear me that entire time? Yes, no, yay. I'll wait a second. Make sure you could hear me. Get out of my pocket, you demon. What you doing? Hi, Diane. Were you able to hear me through that entire stretching process? I'm gonna do the other leg so you guys can see that I can actually do it on both legs. My right leg is a lot, okay, Marilyn says, yes, she can hear me. Good, perfect. Okay, so my right leg is nowhere near as limber as my left leg. It's always been like that. I'm working with the osteopath to correct that because my right leg is, I think it's longer than my left leg. I don't know, but I put a lot more weight on it. I put a lot more stress on my right leg, and I tend to get more pain. So I tend to work more on my stretches on my right side. So my left side is better, so I spend more time on my right side. And you're gonna wanna do the same thing. If you find that one leg is tighter, work longer there. But again, build up slowly. Like, you're not gonna be able to maintain the length of stretch that I just did right away unless you're super, super flexible. And I know there are a couple yoga instructors on here in the group. Alana is one of them. She's amazing. One day I want to train with her because I love yoga, but I'm not, that amazing at it. It's just something I play around with. So one day I am going to go to one of her yoga retreats because she's super awesome. All right, so let's stretch the other side. Let's eat our hair and choke on it. Look, I'm pulling up my pants this time, so it's not as bad as the bounce and shake video. Okay, I got grass in my mouth. Okay, so again, go as far as you can. It's actually easier if you do this on level ground. This is very uneven. Raceland, are you in the camera? Mama can't even see. Go that way. Go this way, buddy. Okay, so you're gonna turn your hips so that they're in line, and you're going to make the angle between your stomach and your leg smaller. Oh man, yeah, I really feel this. I also didn't go for a walk before I did this. I did ride Secret, so I'm technically warmed up, but normally I would walk for, a good hour before I did this. So just work on getting yourself down further. You're gonna feel a good stretch. Oh, and one thing, I gotta remember to mention that on the other side. So stay here for about 15 seconds to a minute, however long you can. And then we're gonna do that triangle pose. So we're just gonna open up, look up at the sky. My left leg is not on even ground right now, so I feel a little off balance. You know what I do? I also do this on my paddleboard. I'll go live and do it live on my paddleboard, and you can see the number of times I fall into the water. It's actually quite amusing. It's the funnest thing in the world to do. You feel like such a kid when you're just letting yourself fall off the paddleboard and you're not worrying about being perfect. It just really doesn't matter. So hold that for as long as you feel like it. And then we're gonna go back to center, drop our hand on the ground or on our yoga block. Now when we do the twisted triangle pose, we're targeting the other side of your hamstring. So you're gonna feel it a lot into the glute. How could I do this so that you could see? I guess I'll go this way. Okay, so I'm just changing it up so that you can see my twisted triangle pose from this angle. So you're gonna feel it here and down into the outside of the hamstring. So there's the two bands. You're gonna feel it on the outside. So you're just going to drop your hand down to the ground and twist over the other way. And this leg is supposed to be straight. So you can see my leg is completely straight. And you'll just stay here and try to keep your sweater out of your mouth. Now my hand right now is not actually flat on the ground, especially on this leg. It's, you know, I can get there, but it just feels like too much of a stretch for me at times, especially I'm not warmed up enough. If I did this twice, there, I'm flat now, but I really do feel that in my glute. That's a big area of tension for me. And so you can just hold this up to a minute. If ever you feel it's uncomfortable, just bend your leg, gives you a break. And just keep it there. Shiver, come here, baby girl. Come out of the camera. There we go. Okay, go that way. They're so bored because we haven't went for a walk. And then finish off in the center. I should call Tazzy. Tazzy! Come on, baby! Baby! There we go. Always have to keep tabs on your Jack Russell Terrier because they're naughty. Now, I could stay here literally for 2 minutes, and it's very tempting. I could stay here for 5 minutes. This is such a good stretch for me, but I'll come out of it. So the next stretch that I like to do, I'm trying to go over this into my head. What is the next stretch that I do? Okay, so your piriformis stretch. Now this is stretching the muscle that goes from your SI joint into your hip. So into your, I'm trying to think of the name that you would call it in normal language. It's called your greater trochanter. I can't think of the word of what you would call that bone, but it's called your greater trochanter. It's going to be moving your hip. It externally rotates your hip. So the easy way to stretch this, if you're not very flexible, and I'm going to hope that you can see this, so you're going to lie on your back and you're going to put one leg, you're going to rest your ankle on your other knee, and you're just going to bring your knee into your chest. Now, if you have really good range of motion and you don't feel a stretch here, like this to me is not enough of a stretch. If it is for you, stay there. Don't attempt the next stretch, because the next stretch is a little bit harder. I'm hoping you guys can see it. So the easiest way to go into it, especially on video, so you're going to stand like this, kneel like this, and then you're just going to turn your leg in, okay? And you're going to fall down. So your leg is going to be at a 90-degree angle to your body, and you want to get this space as close as possible. So you want to get as close to the ground as you possibly can, but this takes practice. It's going to take time to build up the stretch. And then you're going to drop your chest down. So this is a pretty extreme piriformis stretch. Now your piriformis can act whenever people come in with sciatic nerve pain. The odds are their piriformis is tight, because your sciatic nerve actually runs through the piriformis, and when the piriformis gets tight, it's going to give you sciatic pain. Now, stretching the piriformis is all that's needed. You can go to a massage therapist, they can loosen it for you, but this is a really, really, really great stretch. Okay, where's your ball? Ready, go. And you can just go down as far as you can and just stay here as long as you want. I could stay here forever. I love this stretch. Now we do it on the other side. My other side is nowhere near as flexible. There's Dazzy. So again, have one leg bent. You're just going to turn it in and go down to the ground. There are other ways you can get into the stretch, but for simplicity's sake, but you can see the angle of your knee. If your knee is all the way down here, you're not going to get very much of a piriformis stretch. You need it to be perpendicular. Did I say parallel the last time? It needs to be perpendicular with your body. So, and then I just drop down. I can't get as close to the ground as on my left leg, and I tend to have to hold my leg there because it definitely wants to go back to the other position. So I know Kay, if Kay watches the replay, this is a really, really, really good one for you. Her name is actually Karina, but Karina, if you're watching the replay, this is the one that you really need to be doing after your walks. This is going to really help. And the one thing you can do with this stretch, another thing you might not be able to see in the camera, so I'm going to turn this way. So if you see where I am, I'm like right over my body. If I'm over here, it's not the same stretch. You need to be over here. You need to be perpendicular with that leg. Okay, so I can sort of see comments. Somebody said, hi there, finally seeing you live. Hi, whoever you are, your name is past my comment, so I can't see. Marilyn says, yes, I can relate. I see a chiropractor, holistic doctor, and that helps. Danielle says, sorry, I can't get the live stream. Well, hopefully other people are able to see it and the replay is going to stay up. So this is another one of those stretches where I will stay here forever because this muscle causes me a bunch of pain. And my massage therapist, I have her work on it all the time. Are you beautiful? Okay, and from there, so we've done hamstrings, we've done piriformis. We're going to go into stretching your hip adductors. So those are the muscles that bring your legs together. So all you have to do, this is a really easy one, you've probably all done it. You just put your feet together. I hope you can see my feet. I'll try moving back a little bit. You just drop your legs down and pull them together. And then you're just going to make the angle between you and the grass a little bit shorter. So just come down as much as you can. This is a really, really simple stretch. If you're up here, that's okay. Some people are really, really tight in their hip adductors, so that's totally okay. And get out. Shazzy says, where's my treat? What was I just gonna say about that? Do you know that I cannot for the life of me remember the muscles of the hip adductors? It doesn't matter anymore because I'm not a massage therapist. But I memorized all the muscles for my exam and I forgot most of them because who really cares? Like, I don't know the muscles in the forearms anymore. I know, you know, that these are the extensors and the flexors. That's the extent of my knowledge. All right, so we do this one. Now, an easy hip flexor stretch. The quad stretch, and I hope you guys can see. Can you guys, I think you can see. So your quad stretch would be you bringing your ankle to your butt and keeping this straight. So that would just be isolating the quadriceps. Shiver, you're not helping. But when we want to get the hip flexor, all we have to do is open the angle up. Tazzy, get out of my pocket. Shiver, get out of the camera. All we need to do is open the angle up and we'll get a really good stretch in our hip flexor. And you can even lay down. It's easier if you just lay down all the way. Now I'll try to do the ballerina pose. This is another way that you can stretch your hip flexor. It requires some balance. I have nothing to hold on to, and it's a little bit uneven here, but you can do it this way. Let's see if you can see me. See if I can do this. So you grab your ankle and you're just going to go into your ballerina. So you're getting a nice stretch here and come down. Another way, a more intense way to stretch the hip flexor is to go back to this position. You're going to bring your leg forward a little bit because we're going to end up doing a little bit of a lunge, and we want to maintain our knee should be over our ankle. So this, you're just going to reach back, grab your ankle, okay? This one's a little more advanced, and you're just going to dip down here. So you can see me putting my weight there, and you're going to bring your ankle closer to your glutes. So this is more of a stretch in the quad, in the hip flexor, and you could even bend backwards a little bit. So that's a little bit more of an intense stretch of the hip flexor. You're going to be really careful doing that you don't pull too hard or jerk your leg back too fast, because you can get a little sore for 2 to 3 days. Now, stretching your gastroc. So you have two muscles in your calves. You have your gastrocnemius and your soleus. Now, when you're bending both, you're stretching your gastroc. So you can just literally just sit here, put all your weight into your toe, and because your knee is bent and your ankle is bent, you're stretching the gastrocs. Now, if you just want to stretch the soleus, you would need to be doing it on like a step so that you can keep your knee straight. So when the knee's straight, you're stretching the soleus. I hope I got that right. I haven't studied these muscles for a long time. Okay, so you're going to stretch the other leg the same way. I don't really find a need to stretch my soleus very much. So I just do this one, especially when you're in the bush. What are you going to do? And then to stretch your peroneals, all you really need to do is sit like this. Because when you extend your foot, you're stretching out your peroneals. So you can finish like this. I think we covered everything. We got butt, we got quads, we got hamstrings, we got hip adductors, we got your calves, and we got your peroneals. So that should be everything. And that probably took like 10 minutes. I didn't even do the other leg, so I'm going to do the other leg. And Bobby says, I love watching you with your dogs. Thank you, Bobby. They love being on the camera, and they really love treats. And Tazzy is being a good girl. Have you guys even seen Missile yet? Let's see if I can get her to come. Missile, come on. Missile, come. Missile, come on. I made the decision pretty much to retire Missile from agility. She's my border collie that I do agility with. Missile, come here. Come here. Come in the camera. Missile, come. Missile, come. Come. Missile, come here. Missile, can you see her? Missile, come on. So she's a little, very small border collie, and she's very intense, but her hips have not been the greatest. When we're going for walks lately, she comes home and she starts bunny hopping, and agility is just very hard on the joints, and as much as she loves it, I've just made the decision that the only thing that she's really going to do at trials is I just drop the bars down to 10 and just let her run around and do jumps and tunnels, because she's already 8 years old, and neither of my females have good hips. They were both spayed at really young ages. The new research is showing that you should leave your dogs intact and don't spay them until 2, so that you let all of their growth plates close properly. Like, those hormones are really needed to support your dog's joints. And it's when you're spaying a dog at 6 months, which is it's the recommendations by vets, is to spay at 6. It's basically like giving a 12-year-old girl a hysterectomy, or taking away a boy when they're growing, like literally not just a vasectomy, but literally taking away the testicles. So these hormones are needed for growth, and both of my girls have hip issues. They were both spayed young. My male, who was not neutered until he was about 3, is my healthiest dog. So it's not as bad. We don't see as much problems in small dogs as we do in the bigger dogs. But yeah, my next dog, obviously I'm never having another male dog again. They're too sucky. But my next female dog will have something called an ovary sparring, where they just take out the uterus and then they leave in the ovaries, and that won't be done even till 3. Bobby says upper body next time. We could do upper body. Like, there's not that much. One of the greatest ab stretches you can do is just like a basic upward dog. I don't do this very often. I had a lumbar puncture when I had food poisoning, and I don't like putting my back into extension. It causes me a little bit of pain back there. And then all you really need to do for the upper body, besides stretching your abs, is, bend over. You're going to stretch out your obliques. You can go this way. You can go here. And then for your shoulders, you can just bring one shoulder back. Just reach back like this. Do it the other arm. And then your pec stretch is best done in a doorway. So if you're in a doorway, you're going to stretch out your pec, put one arm here, or lean against the doorway and do the other side. So there's not too much that we really need to stretch our upper body, like basic neck stretching. I don't do very much neck stretching because of my the whiplashes that I've had, and it's not comfortable for me. So that's probably why I don't really stretch upper body. And Bobby says my shoulders and upper back and neck are always tight. The best remedy for that is a massage. Much better than stretching. Go get a massage. And when your shoulders and your neck and your back are always tight, it's most likely your posture. A lot of people, we're always like this, right? We're on the computer and we're like this, or we're driving and we're like this. So yeah, you would definitely need that pec stretch against the doorway, but you really want to work on just bringing your shoulders back and your proper posture. Everybody's like this. What you need to do is pretend you have a ponytail and somebody's literally hanging you by your ponytail. So you should be lifting up and tucking in your chin. So if there's a wall behind you, you want to push your head against the wall, and that's going to give you proper posture and bring your shoulders back. Now the best thing for that, and it feels very counterintuitive, because a lot of us are really tight here, it's because we're stretched out. So what happens with the rhomboids is they get little micro tears in them. And you're going to need a massage therapist to address that. But the best thing to do is rowing. Rowing exercises to strengthen and bring your shoulders back, strengthen your rhomboids, strengthen your traps. And you can be rowing like this, or you can be rowing like that. Now you can actually grab a little bit of weight, like 5 pounds, and instead of getting a rowing machine, as long as you keep your back and you make sure all of your muscles are stabilized, you're going to pick up the weights. So I'm going to pretend my weights are here, and you're going to bend over into a lunge, and you're going to keep your shoulders like this. So there's 2 ways. So your shoulders are coming up together, and then you're keeping your shoulders against your body and up together. So you're just getting both sets of the muscles. So you would lift up your weights, make sure you're not bending at the back. Okay, you don't want to be like this and weakening your back, so you need to lunge down or have your weights higher up so you don't have to go down as far. And then you're getting gravity. And you really want, see, I can see my shadow to make sure that I'm bringing my shoulders up, and the other one is squeezing the shoulder blades together. And you're going to want to hold each one for about 10 seconds. So that is the best way to work on your shoulders. Okay, let's look at comments. Marilyn says, I do too. I just love how you're really down to earth and included your dogs and stay in tune to your ability to share your knowledge. That's very sweet. Thank you. You love the balancing and the bouncing video. I'm thinking of redoing the balancing and bouncing video just because my pants were falling down and it really drives me nuts. And she said, and stay in tuned, your ability to share your knowledge of living healthier. Thank you for your dedication. You're very welcome. Daniel says, feels good. I'm not sure what that refers to, but I hope that you're able to see now. Okay. Oh, it was Bobby saying, finally seeing you live. You see me live all the time, just not lately. Danielle says, yes, redo. I missed. Oh, you can see it, Danielle. It's in the group. Just scroll down. Does anybody know what happened to the search? Oh, where's my dog? Baby, come on, baby. Sometimes I forget what I'm doing. Does anybody know what happened to the search in groups? Like, there's no search anymore. And I need that for my other groups to make sure that, you know, I know what's going on. Oh, Tuzzy. But yeah, you can scroll down and find it. It is the Bounce and Shake. My pants were falling down and it really looked silly. And I could have worn a nicer shirt, definitely. Because I did not like that outfit whatsoever. Okay, so I am going to have an announcement in the next couple days. It's not really like a big announcement, but it's cool. I've been thinking about something in my head for a little while because everybody has been asking me about it. So I will be making that announcement probably by the end of the week. And I'm hoping that it's going to help a lot of people take charge of their health and get better and heal and that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for that. The announcement should be by the weekend. I'm just finalizing some thoughts in my head. And then I want to go live and do a video on, I want to do 2 live streams different, because I really think a lot of our health issues are because we're denying our passions, and we're conditioned from such a young age to go to school, to get a job, to work our butts off, to retire, to have a family. Like, we have all these conditioned beliefs in our head, and most of us don't really believe that we can follow our passion, make a living from our passion, and a lot of us really aren't happy. And as much as, we want to rebalance your brain with neurotransmitters, we still have to heal your mind. We have to heal your spirit. We have to work on that to really get healthy. Because if you're denying your passions, if you're doing something you do not like, no matter how much amino acids that we give you, no matter what we do, it might help a little bit, but you're not truly going to be happy. It might tone down anxiety, it might tone down depression, that kind of stuff. But to truly experience happiness and abundance and love and joy, you need to follow your joy. And that was one of the big reasons why I got Secret, is because I love to ride, and I need to make time in my life, even though I am living my passion, helping people, but I also have joys outside of it. Like, I love to be outside in nature. I could literally just lay on the ground right now and stay here for until it got dark. Like, I could be outside all the time. So we need to incorporate our passion and our joy into every single day of our life to really feel abundance now. So abundance is not just about money. Happiness is not just about having things. It's about living our joy and what our soul is, like what we're meant to do in life. And that doesn't mean, we have to be a healer and help people. That doesn't mean we have to open big foundations and save the world. It just means we need to follow our joy. So I'm going to go live. I'm thinking Saturday, weather permitting. I prefer to do outside things on sunny days and inside things on rainy days. So I want to go live, and we're going to do 2 things. We're going to do a guided visualization on finding your life purpose. And I also want to do the passion test. So I'm not a certified passion test person-y thing, whatever you call it. I'm not certified in the passion test, but I have been trained in it, and I do understand it. So I'm going to teach it to you guys. And then it's going to go in my mindset course. So those 2 things are only going to be on the replay. Will only be available for like a day, because it's going to go into the mindset course for my clients, but you guys can watch it live while I do it. And for those 2 things, it's definitely going to be in my house, quiet time, so that we can sit down. You guys can sit and relax, and I'll have some nice music and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you enjoyed the stretching. I hope you guys could see it and hear me. I'm going to finish this live stream and take these dogs for a walk. They were so good. We're going to head out to the lake. Then I have to go, I don't have to. I'm going for dinner with my aunt, and then I have a client later tonight. So I will talk to you all later, and I will post that. So stay tuned in the group. And Marilyn says, that's exactly what I'm learning and want to be spreading the joys of God grace and go live and stepping out of my comfort zone. My passion is to reach out to God's people spiritually. Yeah, and you just have to do it. The fear is always going to be there. No matter what you're doing, the fear will be there. Well, that's not true. You eventually get used to it and the fear is gone. I used to be terrified of doing live streams. Now I can, I don't care whatsoever. It doesn't bother me. But you just have to acknowledge the fear, accept the fear. It's your body's primal instincts to keep you safe. Our body doesn't care about being abundant and joy. It just wants to be safe. It wants to keep you from harm. So it's doing its job. The fear is a very primal instinct. So just acknowledge it and bring it with you and still do it, because there's so much good and so much love that we can spread. And I'm getting all woo-woo. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.